This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Welcome back to the Special Chronicles Podcast. I'm your host and founder of Special Chronicles, Daniel Smrokowski. And today is a little different. It's a celebration, a reflection, and honestly, a moment that means a lot to me personally. Before we dive in, I have some big news to share with you. I'm honored to announce that I will be a speaker at the Elk of Illinois' 76th Annual Convention on April 29th to the 30th, 2026. This is an incredible opportunity to continue elevating our message of disability advocacy and inclusion on a statewide stage. If you want updates and to learn how you can get exclusive access to watch live or on demand, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter on specialchronicles.com. Now, on to today's episode. This episode is a special encore presentation, and for my 37th birthday this week, we're doing something fun. My good friend and fellow journalist, RJ Nealon, is taking over the mic and turning the tables and interviewing me for a change. In this conversation, RJ and I dive into some meaningful chapters of my life. What quarantine life looked like for me and my family in 2020. Remember those days? Memories from my school years and the experiences that shaped me. My Special Olympics backstory and how athlete leadership opened doors. The incredible honor of serving as a Sargent Shriver Global Messenger with Special Olympics, and the role of storytelling and journaling have played in my journey. And there's some big news we revisit in this encore episode. The Elk of Illinois presented me with the 2020 Self Advocacy Award. That moment still fills me with gratitude. So whether you've been part of the Special Chronicles community for years or you're tuning in for the first time, thank you for celebrating with us. This episode is really about the mission that has guided my life, using our voices, our stories, and our lived experiences to build a more inclusive world. If today's episode encourages you, teaches you something new, or simply made you smile, I invite you to share it with a friend. That's how our message of inclusion continues to grow. Make sure to subscribe or follow to the Special Chronicles podcast on your favorite app so you never miss a new episode. And if you like to support our mission, you can learn more at specialchronicles.com. Let's dive in.
Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Coming up on the Special Chronicles show, episode 374, I'm RJ Nealon, hosting a special takeover episode of this podcast as we welcome Daniel Smrokowski, founder of Special Chronicles and a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger with Special Olympics. Tune in right now on specialchronicles.com. Welcome back to this fine, groundbreaking show on specialchronicles.com. My name is RJ, and I'm your takeover host of this episode. I am also a communication fellow with Special Olympics North America. Please put your hands together as we welcome our guest, Daniel, founder of Special Chronicles, a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger with Special Olympics.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. So
that's the most applause that I've heard in months since I haven't been able to come out and speak at events.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of quarantine, how's things been going? How are you handling, having to stay inside a lot of the time?
Well, I am in, I guess you could say, an essential worker. I do work 3 days a week at United. I'll show our audience. But other than that, I've actually been productive. I've been producing weekly podcasts, not just this show, but the Daniel and Georgia show as well. And I've been writing, as you know, monthly SSIGM blogs that you are one of the editors for. But yeah, I've been productive. I probably could do a little bit more cleaning and other stuff, but other than that, I've been pretty productive.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I could probably be cleaning my room a lot more, but I'm working 5 days a week. I'm having a blast. I'm editing your blogs every month. So I'm glad we finally got to connect. Speaking of, having to stay home with your family and stuff, tell us about your family.
So, good transition. So my mom and my dad, my mom lives in a couple towns over from me and my dad. And then my sister, one of my sisters just got married last May. So my sister and my brother-in-law, they live about, 45 minutes away from me in Wazell, Illinois. Hopefully they're okay with me saying that on air. They can send a hate mail to feedback at specialchronicles.com. But anyways, and then my other sister, so she's a physical therapist. So she works with people who most likely probably have COVID. But and then my other sister is an architect, and she lives in an apartment in in a neighborhood in Chicago that I'm blanking on, but yeah. And so that's, and then I've got all my grandparents are not alive anymore, but I've got aunts, uncles, cousins in everywhere from Minnesota to Omaha, Nebraska to Whiteville, Colorado to a great aunt in Iowa, or a great uncle that passed away, but a great aunt in Iowa. I've got an aunt and uncle in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, cousins in that area as well. A cousin that was in DC but is now in Oak Park / Champaign, Illinois. I've got, who else? Well, some distant, I guess, second cousins. Oh, cousin-in-laws, second cousins in the Virginia area, as well as in California on the West Coast. But yeah, so basically all over the place, mainly Midwest, but also the East Coast as well, and West Coast. But I was born in Long Beach, California, back when I had a lot more hair than I have now. And 31 and a half years ago, in Long Beach, California, so across the street from the Pacific Ocean.
So you're a true Cali boy. I mean, you may not live in Cali anymore, but you're a true Cali boy.
I mean, I only lived there for the first 4 years of my life, so not for that long, but basically.
And you have family all over the place. I know for me, my family's in Maryland, Virginia, and Florida.
Yeah.
And then my cousin goes to school at Auburn, so she's in Alabama for most of the year. But, you're usually the host of this show, and now you are being interviewed.
I know. And I know so for our new listeners who might be new to you, they can go back and listen to what was supposed to be a 1 hour episode is actually a 2 hour episode conversation. And I forgot, because we've actually done like over 400 episodes, even though technically this is 374. Like what episode? Something like that. We've actually done more episodes than that, but because like some episodes had a different number sequence, and so with that, I forgot what episode you were on. Do you remember? But,
I don't remember, but it was about the story I wrote on COVID-19 and coming from an athlete's perspective. And you're right, an hour episode turned into it was like a 2 hours and 7 minute episode, just because we kept talking.
Yeah, and so if they go on to specialchronicles.com/show, maybe we'll try to put that up on the screen so people can see that. If I can spell that right. Okay, there we go. Save, and there we go. If people go to specialchronicles.com/show, you can look in the archives of the previous episodes, and I think that it's the episode is titled RJ Nealon story. Is that right?
That is correct, I believe.
Yeah. So even though we forgot what episode number it is, so we can't give you the exact link of that episode. We'll try to remember to put a link to it in the show notes on specialchronicles.com. But you can also just go to specialchronicles.com/show, and that'll take you to the show page for the show.
Yeah. So let's get back on topic a little bit. Can you tell your listeners what disability you're diagnosed with?
So I was diagnosed with learning disabilities, severe language disorder, developmental delays. So all that falls into intellectual disabilities. So it's a bunch of stuff, and I don't really like the word disability. And so the fact that it's like that word is in the diagnosis name that I have, that is, so that's the from my doctors, and
But I mean, it hasn't slowed you down. You have a journalism degree from Roosevelt University. I mean, I feel like you and I can connect more than a lot of Special Olympic athletes, because we both have degrees in journalism. We both, we struggle with communication, but at the same time, it's our passion. Yeah.
Well, and it's like whatever people can actually read this, I think, at the end of my SSIGM bio that is on SOI's website. Maybe we can try to, if you can make a note to let me know to put it in the show notes. But what I usually say to that of what you just said is that communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. And I think you can relate to that, but I think that says a lot, that communication is my biggest struggle, but it's also my biggest passion. And what my mentor Chris has said, and what a few people have said, is that I've taken what was with having a big feel in public speaking, and I've taken that to beyond just like public speaking in the sense of public speaking. I've taken that into communicating to an audience that reaches in the just going on before going on air, just like over what did I say it was over the average monthly 12-month monthly average is over 42,000,
I believe.
Yeah, let me double check that to give the listeners the right number. 42,316 listeners is a monthly average, and that's as of the end of July. So that's not including all the content in August, but over 42,000 of you have been listening, and we're grateful for that.
Yeah, so I mean, you gave a voice to the voiceless. You love storytelling. So before we go to a commercial break, can you share a story from your early childhood about when you first fell in love with storytelling?
So I've always, no matter like who I'm talking with, whether it's teachers, whether it's my girlfriend, my friends, I've always loved storytelling, and which is why I got into journalism and communicating, and now being in Shriver International Global Messenger and a veteran podcaster. Is I love storytelling, and it's hard to remember maybe a particular story from my early years of how I got into storytelling, but I think a couple, maybe a brief story that I can remember from my high school years is in one of the special ed classes that I was in. It was like a job skills type class, and my case manager had. And she was the one that actually introduced me to Special Olympics, and she had us keep like a journal in class, and I did kind of a little bit more journaling than the average person in our class. And I also at the time had wrote like some, actually even before then in middle school, I wrote some fiction stories that the characters, one could say, related to like people from my class. It was fiction, but between that in middle school, writing those fiction stories, but then also in high school, keeping a journal, and I still have a bunch of those journals in because I want to write a memoir of my story. So I still in my desk. I'm pointing out, podcast listeners can't see, but I've got the journal. So between writing those fiction stories in middle school and then keeping a journal in high school, really that journal in high school was really when that love of storytelling came out of me, and that's really the origin story of how and when I fell in love with storytelling from my early years when I had a little bit more hair than I do now.
That's awesome, man. So you're listening to the Special Chronicles show, and we'll be right back with our guest, Daniel.
This episode... We will be right back.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out ComEd.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye.
We are back with the Special Chronicles show with our guest, Daniel. So now I want to learn about your Special Olympics background. How did you first become a Special Olympics athlete?
Awesome. So I'm glad you're hosting because I'm not paying attention. I'm just retweeting to tell people that we're live. Should I not be tweeting on the show?
It gives it a more comfortable feel. We're relaxed. We're just having a conversation.
It does, even when the guest is tweeted. So, can you remind me what the question is?
How did you first become involved with Special Olympics? Like, how did you become an athlete?
So, I kind of teased it a little bit in the last segment, and I first got involved in, I think it was 2005. So, like, what was it, 15 years ago?
So you were high school age.
High school age, yeah. And my case manager, and one of the, I'm sure you and probably some of our listeners know what an IEP meeting is. And so it was at the IEP meeting where one of my case managers had told me about Special Olympics. Even though she wasn't really involved as a volunteer coach, but like we had classmates that were involved. So I got involved. And since then, my life has been transformed into not just competing in sports where it was difficult for me before being involved, but but life has been changed for the better, both on the field or in the pool or on the court, both on the field, but then also off the field as well.
So what sports did you compete in as an athlete? I know you said field, court, and pool. So that's a wide variety.
Yeah, well, yeah. So really, swimming was the first sport. I still compete today. And then swimming. And then about 2 years later, one of my friends told me about basketball. And so then I started playing basketball. And now today, fast forward a bunch of years later, I am one of our board members for Special Olympics Illinois. His name is Steven, and my mentor Chris and I, I actually met him for the first time. My mentor knew of him, but I met him for the first time in Abu Dhabi, and we were talking. We were at this it's called the Souk, so like this old mall in Abu Dhabi, and we were just chatting, and we started talking about golf, and we hopefully next year I can start unified golf with him, and do you have a field? It's more of a golf course. Is a golf course a field? Is it a field?
Golf course. It's a course.
Course. Yeah. But you can still say field, right? You're on the field. You're not on the.
in a way, you are, but they call it golf course.
Yeah. No. I know that, but like you can still kind of call it you're on a
grass surface.
Grass surface, yeah. So when I say field, I really mean like pool. You
just mean athletics in a whole.
Just as a whole, yeah. So like not really athletics as track and field athletics, but more athletics as a whole when I say field. So I probably should clarify that. Yeah. So I meant to say pool and basketball court and started and get into unified golf. And so, I mean, even though I in the past, I played with my dad and my grandma in the past, but really now it's more, yeah, so that's hopefully. And I did try, well, speaking of field, in the actual sense of field, I did try softball for 1 year, and then I was like, I don't really like it that much. So in a way, I did go actually on the field. So, yeah.
Yeah, I played golf growing up with my grandpa. I played baseball outside of Special Olympics, but I was really interested. You spoke a lot about Abu Dhabi. Can you talk about your experience going to the Middle East? I mean, that must have been unbelievable.
It was, and as you know, it was the first time that we had a World Games there, and so really history was being made when we brought the games there. And so when I mean the movement of the Special Olympics, and it was an incredible experience. I wrote about it, I think, in the first SSIGM blog entry last year.
You wrote it a few 2 months ago, and I got to say, Dan, that was incredible storytelling.
Yeah. Well, then and also I also wrote it in the very first blog in, I think it was like May of 2019. So before you came on to work with Taylor, but yeah, I really try to take those personal experiences and really put a picture in the reader's mind or listener's mind or viewer's mind of what it's like to actually be there. And I really try to do that from like the lead, as you know, the first paragraph is called the lead, LEDE, not LEAD, LEDE, lead. And so from the first lead of the story, I really try to put a picture in the reader's mind, and then I kind of go from there. And it goes back to that love of storytelling that we talked about at the beginning of the episode. But yeah, so it was an incredible experience. I mean, getting to hang out, have lunch, interview, personal skating lesson from Paulo Ono. I didn't get a picture with Michelle Kwan, but I wish I did. But I do have a fun story of meeting her in, I should say bumping into Michelle Kwan in the elevator at a hotel. I wish I got a picture with her, but I guess I was living in the moment, because like I could still say, hey, I bumped into Michelle Kwan in the elevator at the hotel in Abu Dhabi. I mean, sometimes living in the moment is more powerful than a picture will ever be. Yeah. So, and I can say that. I mean, bump into Michelle Kwan at the hotel, but then also just like all 10 of us SSIGMs being on stage at the opening ceremonies. Like we were like, you saw that, right? Like, and we were live on TV on ESPN, and we were all on stage, and so everybody could see us. And at one point, I put my hands up, and everybody could see us, and that was an incredible experience as well. I mean, there's a lot of I've not just that first SSIGM blog that I wrote in May 2019, but also in other SSIGM blogs that you have seen. I have kind of recounted stories here and there, including the one that went live yesterday on the birthday blog for Loretta Claiborne. I mean, there was in the middle of that blog entry, I recounted this private invitation only event that we went to that Loretta had hosted. There's that, and what was the one last month?
Celebration of your champion of inclusion.
Oh yeah, with and I shared a few stories with about my mentor Chris, like having a pizza party in a villa, and like I recounted that story. And but then even like just if people want to get an overview of my experience at World Games in Abu Dhabi, the very first SSIGM blog that I wrote in beginning of 2019, you can like just, I think it was like May-ish 2019. I recounted the entire 2 weeks of being there. But then since then I've kind of like taken a few excerpt stories in other, like I try to find a way. It seems like between last month, July, and now August, I've like taken two different stories and found a way to, within the topic that you and Taylor give us, I found a way to like always pull in a story from World Games in Abu Dhabi. So it's kind of like that's the awesomeness of being a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger is you have these incredible experiences, and to be able to recount that in a story when the topic is not about being at World Games, but you're able to kind of use stories from that experience to relate to the topic of whatever the topic is for the blog. And so hopefully I answered your question.
No, you did an incredible job. When I was in college, our professor would always tell us, take the reader someplace they can't go by themselves. And you do an incredible job with that with your storytelling. I've got to say, Daniel, your storytelling is incredible. You are an incredible journalist, and I learn a lot. I finally put on the editor's hat, and I'm learning a lot editing. But you went to Abu Dhabi as an athlete leader, as a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger. How was that? Like, how was that?
Yeah, well, so just briefly, thanks for the compliments on the storytelling. It goes back to a lot of my journalism professors that I had at Roosevelt University in Chicago, but back to now the next question, which you said was what was it like being at
There's this historic event. It's the first World Games in a Middle Eastern country, and you got to go as a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger. How was that feeling?
It was an incredible experience. I mean, to get a chance. I mean, if I'm sure competing, and I have friends like even one friend, Kira Byland, that won 3 gold medals. She's actually won 3 gold medals. I mean, 6 gold, 2 different World Games, but in cycling. So, like, to be able to compete is a big honor for your country and your region, but also to be there as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger and to be able to go to receptions, to talk with the global ambassadors and the big sponsors and board members, and to be there to represent the over 5, I should know this, it's over 5 million athletes globally. Is that right? Do I have that correct?
I'm with you. I don't have the exact number, but it's a lot. And you are one of 10 global messengers. Yeah, one of 10. And so it's a big honor, and I'm grateful for all the opportunities as an international global messenger, and to be at the World Games the first time it's in the first time that it was in the Middle East is, I mean, it was life changing. I love the fact that they, instead of referring to us as people with disabilities, they refer to us as people with determination. I think one of the taglines was "Beat the Determined," and that positive language that they use about us really is a lesson that we all can learn. I mean, there's a lot of legacies and lessons that I think we can learn, and just to be there to represent our fellow athlete and fellow athlete leaders is a big opportunity, and that I'm grateful and thankful to be a part of. I mean, you can see on, if I change my chair a little bit, you can see I've got somewhere on, well, on here you can see I've got a zipped up sweatshirt that I have on the back of my chair. It's actually a small. It was the only size that they had. And a fun little story, when we were in the line to get merchandise, my mentor Chris and I, we were standing in line, and I these 2 young high school, they've now graduated high school, but I had
a week before going to the World Games, I interviewed these two youth leaders that were actually working with social media with Taylor and with us in North America. Katie and Natalie. I don't know if you know. They're from Salt Lake City, Utah. And,
I follow them on Twitter.
Yeah, and so they have since started a podcast, but I interviewed them a week before we went to Abu Dhabi, right? And so, as you know, there's a lot of people at World Games, and so like the chances are that you're going to run into somebody that you know is probably a little difficult. But apparently, I turned around and they were like standing behind us, and when I got this sweatshirt, and so they're like, and so like it was such a cool experience, and they shared a picture on their Instagram story of the three of us, right? I honestly, I don't know if I've told anybody this publicly yet, but I do not. I took a lot of pictures with people throughout the 2 weeks. I do not remember taking I don't know if I should be sharing this on air, but I do not remember taking a picture with Katie and Natalie. I do not remember. I mean, should I be saying that? Like,
yeah, that's fine.
I honestly don't remember taking a picture with them. Like it, I almost think like they photoshopped the picture, but like I don't think they did. I mean, I'm sure
you had so many unbelievable experiences. It's impossible to remember every single one.
Yeah. So like the fact that I don't remember that experience of taking a picture with Katie and Natalie, I don't remember. Like they posted that on their Instagram story, and I was like, "Did we really take a picture?" I honestly have no memory of taking that picture. Like, I mean, it's kind of like.
It's funny. It's awesome.
It's funny. It's awesome. Yeah. It's like, I honestly don't remember taking that picture. So let me just tell our listeners, if I meet you and we take a picture and you put it on your Instagram story and tag me at PopManDan, there's a chance that I am grateful that we met. I'm grateful that we took a picture. But, and I'm telling this to Katie and Natalie and all of you listeners who might take a picture with me. There's a chance I am not going to remember taking a picture with you.
Well, that's because you're a celebrity, man. Everybody knows you. You just meet too many people.
I know. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about the word celebrity, but during the 50th anniversary for Special Olympics, the concert, my mom and I were sitting, these two young ladies were sitting behind us. And during the whole concert, this was the one with Chance the Rapper and Jason Mraz and a bunch of people were coming up to me, right? And in the middle of the concert, these two young ladies, and so they ended up subscribing to the Special Chronicles show, because like we were doing podcast coverage during the whole week, right? So they ended up subscribing on their phone, like in the middle of the concert. Like when did that happen? I mean, that's kind of that alone is amazing. But also at the same time, they tapped me on my shoulder and said, "We don't mean to be rude, but are you a celebrity?" Because somebody was coming up to me, and so I recounted that in a story that's on SOI's that's on SpecialOlympics.org. That's titled "Up Your Game for Global Inclusion" or something like that. So I've recounted that in a blog after the fact. That was a year later, but yeah. So honestly, yeah. I mean, being a celebrity is not something that I strive to be. I think just for me and other people like me and you, like those of us with intellectual disabilities, we don't strive to be a celebrity. What we do is we just strive to be seen.
We strive to be seen, and we strive to make the biggest impact that we can with our experiences and our voices. You and me, especially, we're journalists. Yeah. We have a platform to give a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah. Yeah. And sharing the stories of the voices of the people that maybe have a little bit more of a challenge to share their voice, to share their story. We have that opportunity as not just people with intellectual disabilities, but as journalists, as storytellers, to use the platform, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a blog, whether it's whatever it is. We have this power to share this, and we are making that positive impact among thousands of listeners, readers, viewers.
Spot on. So before we go to another commercial break, I want to take a step back and ask you one last question on your Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger role. For those listeners that don't know much about the role, what's the application like? How do you become a global messenger?
It was a difficult application. I mean, I guess looking back, it probably wasn't that difficult, but it was I'll say honestly, it was a difficult application. I think it was only like 80 of us athlete leaders that applied, but it was a difficult application. And all of my experience from the beginning global messenger, the beginning athlete leadership training that I went to 12 years ago, to all the different speeches and receptions and stuff that I've been to over the years, plus building Special Chronicles into the global digital media podcast network that it is today. All of that, it took me 10 years to go to take my athlete leadership to not just here, but take it to a whole nother level with Special Chronicles. And kind of like what my mentor was telling me yesterday is that each of us SSIGMs, we all have strengths, but there's one strength that really stands out among all of them. So we all have different platforms as an international global messenger. Some is health, some is that global leadership type level. Some, like for myself, is podcasting. Like that podcasting and storytelling, that is I guess more media. Media is that one strength that stands out among all the other strengths that I have of how I became an international global, a Sargent Shriver international global messenger. And so that would be my advice to other other athlete leaders is, if you want to become an SSIGM, go through all the training, have a bunch of strengths that you are that you are good at, but have one strength that really overpowers all the other strengths. So whether that is being an excellent health messenger, whether that's being an excellent global leader in enthusiasm, whether that's in the media, have that one strength that overpowers all of them, and that's how you can become a Sargent Shriver international global messenger. And really, in that application, make sure that the panel, the people that look at the applications is really see that one strength that overpowers all the other strengths. And I've met, like, for example, when I was in Dublin, I met some people in Dublin from Special Olympics International that were part of the application process. And like this one person said, I forgot her name, but it doesn't really matter. But she said when she saw Special Chronicles, she was like, why isn't he a Sargent Shriver international global messenger? And that just goes to show, like, that one strength, like media, really helps to really shine through all the other strengths that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it 100% right. Having a background in media is such a powerful platform. Now we're going to go to a commercial break. You're listening to the Special Chronicles Show with our guest, Daniel. We'll be right back.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our
shared humanity. We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
More divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution
is inclusion.
Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
You can text GIVE to 833-953-2598. That's text GIVE to 833-953-2598 and make a difference and help us reach our $12,000 goal for a 12-year celebration in November 2020. This episode is brought to you by the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and radio is powering us here at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Thank ComEd for the generous support of Special Chronicles. This episode is brought to you by listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And we're back.
We are back with the Special Chronicles Show with our guest, Dan. So, my man, we have big news to announce. Do you want to share it to the viewers?
We do. Do we have a drum roll?
You want a drum roll?
We really need to get better sound effects. If you guys want to help us get better sound effects, then donate. SpecialChronicles.com/give, and you can help us get better sound effects. With that, yeah. So the big announcement, honored. Actually, we already put it up on the news blog on specialchronicles.com. We should get /news. I don't know if people go there, what they'll see. That page is even active. Eventually I'll get specialchronicles.com/news and then you will see. Anyways, on there, we announced it. I'm holding it in my hand here. The Elk of Illinois has it only says okay. In June 2020, I think I got this like last week of May in the mail, but I was supposed to get this in person, but because of the whole global pandemic, there's this whole global pandemic thing going on that I can't really I couldn't get in person. But I was presented with the Elk of Illinois presented me with the 2020 Self Advocacy Award. And so if you go to the news blog on specialchronicles.com, just go to specialchronicles.com and click on news. You can actually watch the acceptance video. Do you want me to try to see if I can share the screen to share that with the viewers?
Yeah, if you feel comfortable doing that, let's do it.
Let me pop into the I probably should have pulled this up before we started the show. Shows how prepared we are. But all I went to was specialchronicles.com and clicked on news, and then you can get all the news blog. And let me click on share screen, and I have to click on share audio. Let me go to share audio, that tab, and do you see my screen?
Yep.
There you guys go. Did you want to get to something else, or should we watch this 2-minute acceptance?
Let's show the viewers this 2-minute video. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
So to spur the moment excitement.
Yeah, because it was an excitement to actually get. I got a voicemail from. I'll share. Do you want me to briefly set it up? of how I got it?
Yeah. Tell your story. Tell the viewers how this came about.
So it came about I got connected with this professor at UIC at the University of Illinois in Chicago, and part of this, they partner with Special Olympics to do this health research, and I only did it for 3 months last summer, last July, August. I ended it in September because in last September I was totally burnt out, overwhelmed with everything going on. I had a couple big things with like this new job opportunity and going to Dublin and for the Global Unified Leadership Workshop. And so I got connected. I met this professor at UIC for 3 months, and her mom was friends with my girlfriend's mom. And so there was a little connection there. And so, but I only got to know her for 3 months. Right. So, and little did I know, beginning of March 2020. So this was what like 6 months later. Fox 32 News did a story on me, which is the Fox News affiliate in Chicago, and she saw this story on Fox, even put it in the application because she is a board member with the Elk of Illinois, and so she applied. She nominated me for this 2020 Self Advocacy Award because of having 12 years of experience with self advocacy through the media and podcasting and being a journalist, and so she now nominated me for this, and yeah, that's the setup there.
Awesome. Now for a little bit of excitement for the viewers
of this
is a little bonus for those of you watching. This is a bonus because those of you listening won't be able to see it.
But they can still hear it.
Exactly.
You can still hear. But go watch the video on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And it's an impromptu speech. I didn't have any preparation to actually write out in a certain speech, but sometimes even the impromptu speeches can still be just as powerful.
I'm the same way as you. I think that's a journalist's thing. Just for the moment, let's wing it.
Yeah. So here we go. Hi, the Elk of Illinois friends. My name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I am proud to be presented with the 2020 Self Advocacy Award from the Elk of Illinois. I'm honored to be presented with this award. The Elk, Illinois. The roots of true achievement lie in the will to become the best you can become. Daniel Smrokowski, my name is signed, the Elk of Illinois, Self Advocacy Award 2020. So let me there you go. There's the light, there you go. Thank you. Let me just say, like to thank my family, friends, like to thank Dr. Leek from the University of Illinois at Chicago for nominating me for this award. And thank you to my family, my friends, the staff at Special Olympics, the International and Illinois and North America, my producers and board members at Special Chronicles, all the thousands of listeners, and to everybody for believing and supporting me my entire life. I'm honored to have received the 2020 Self Advocacy Award from the Elk of Illinois. Thank you. Thank you, and have a great day. Thanks. There you go. I'll just scan through the rest of this so you can kind of see a little bit of it was presented. This video was presented on doing their virtual at their virtual conference. I didn't watch it when it was presented because I was working at the airport at the time. But
I've got to say that's a beautiful award. That's a beautiful award.
Yeah, it is. I thought it was going to be something I can hang on my wall. And those are, if you go on to specialchronicles.com, you can click on and actually watch the story that was on Fox 32. You should definitely.
I actually like how the trophy is or how the award is because you can set it on your desk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd much rather have it sitting on my desk than on my wall. I reserve my wall for like my diploma and stuff. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Weren't we actually going to, for this, when we started talking about doing this takeover episode, weren't we actually going to play the Fox 32 story?
I think we were discussing it back when the conversation started. So if you want to give the viewers a little bit more excitement, let's do it.
A little bit more excitement. Sure. Let me go and try to.
We're journalists. We're kind of going with the flow and kind of winging it every now and then.
We don't have any. We only have a little bit of time left because I have to go catch a bus. But let me go and. Can you see the Fox 32?
Yes.
So it is gonna play an ad. So I don't know if. Can we is there a way to mute this audio? Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mute this. Can you see this without me having it be full screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to put it full screen. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
And viewers, well, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah. You just have to deal with it.
If you want a full screen, go to the website and watch it.
Yeah. Just go to Fox32 Chicago.com. And
it doesn't seem like it's working. So
no. Oh wait, it's loading it. Well, kind of. To connect with. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
There we go. For athletes who have gone through similar challenges that I have gone through.
A Special Olympic athlete has become a podcast celebrity with a global following.
When he was born, doctors did not.
Oh, what did?
Well, let's just keep moving forward. We gave the viewers a little bit of excitement.
Yeah. Oh, now there's an ad playing. Sorry, I was trying to turn the volume up, and it we gave them a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's lagging.
Here we go. I think now we have it.
Expect him to be able to communicate.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I know from my view it's all blurry and buffering. So
it is. Okay.
For the viewers, if you want to watch it, head on over to the website and watch the full story of Daniel.
Yeah. Just head on over to specialchronicles.com, and right on the home page you can click on the link to there's a little graphic that says watch the Special Chronicles story on Fox 32 News, and you can watch it there. I'm getting a text behind the scene. Oh, this must be your number one though. Taylor says, sorry, I couldn't make the podcast recording and had a call pop up. How did it go? Well, we can text her later about how it actually went.
We can text her later. I know we're running out of time, so let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the Special Chronicles show with our guest, Daniel.
I didn't know we were taking a commercial break, but you're taking over the host, so let's go ahead.
This episode is brought to you by listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. This episode is brought to you by
the Combat Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and radio is powering us here at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Thank ComEd for the generous support of Special Chronicles.
We are back with the Special Chronicles show with our guest, Daniel. So I know we don't have much time left, so I want to get to the final thoughts and social plugs. Can you share what your social media handles are?
Sure. I can also put it up on the video screen for our people, for our peeps. Can I say that?
You can absolutely say that.
Does it make me hip?
It makes you hip. It makes you young. It makes you your calories coming out.
I know, right? Okay, so if people want to find out what I'm doing off air, you can go to at Podmandan, PodManDan at Podmandan on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I also have a Facebook fan page as well that's just at Daniel Smrokowski, and also on LinkedIn. You can look me up there as well, but you can also just look me up by going to specialchronicles.com and / Daniel Smrokowski is where you can go to my bio, both my Special Olympics bio is also on that page as well, but then also my social media and email is linked on there as well. So just go to specialchronicles.com / Daniel Smrokowski and you'll be able to find me there. And hashtag Special Chronicles. But also, if you just go to specialchronicles.com, you can do a search for all of the social media for Special Chronicles is at the top. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Special Chronicles, and Vimeo too. And then Twitter is just do a search for the hashtag Special Chronicles, and you will find us on there. And that's how you can get connected with both myself and Special Chronicles.
You can find me also at Twitter at R Nealon Sports, Instagram at RJ Nealon, and Facebook at Robert James Nealon. Now that we have our social handles out there, I want to get your final thoughts.
In your blog?
And my blog. Yes, my blog is nealonsports.blog. That's an important one. It's down below on the screen.
Yeah.
So now I want to get your final thoughts. What advice would you give a fellow Special Olympic athlete if they want to, become a self-advocate, have goals of becoming a Sargent, Shriver, International Global Messenger, or just being an athlete leader?
Awesome question. Before we get to that, were you going to ask me how I got connected with the Elk of Illinois? Or I guess I kind of already answered that before we played that video.
You did. That was one of my questions, but you answered it on top of another question, so I cut that out of the script.
It's almost like I looked at the questions. It's almost like I'm looking at the questions the same time you are.
It makes my job easier as an interview when I ask one question and you answer 3 of them.
And I answer, yeah. Isn't that awesome? It's almost like I have done your job before.
Exactly.
There you go. So my advice for anybody that wants to become a self-advocate or an athlete leader or a Sargent, Shriver International Global Messenger is just to and I'm kind of gonna give some of this advice in a speech that I'm giving next week on Zoom. And so I don't know if any of those people will be here on this podcast episode, but my advice is to think, listen, and act. To really think and listen to what your mentors, to what your staff, to what your family, to what your friends are telling you. So listen to them, think about it, and then act, and then do. And so really think, listen, and act is really, when it comes down to it, that's my advice. But also my advice is what I said a little bit earlier in the program today, and that is have that one strength that overpowers all the other strengths. So yes, there's a lot of strength that you're good at, but have that one strength. So for me, it's media. For you, it might be you're really good at being a health messenger. You're really good at the global leadership part of it. But have that one strength that overpowers all the other strengths, and that's what will make you succeed as a future Shriver International Global Messenger, as a future athlete leader, as a future Self Advocacy Award winner from your local from the elk of whether it's the elk of Illinois, Alabama, national elk, whatever. Have that one strength, and really don't let that disability that you're diagnosed with, don't let that hold you back, and don't give up. When people say you can't do something, don't give up on it. Just continue to do what you love and follow your dreams. And really, we just to summarize, remember to think, listen, and act, and have that one strength. Have that one strength that overpowers all the other strengths. And that's my advice of how you can succeed as a Self Advocacy Award winner, as a Shriver International Global Messenger, or as an athlete leader.
I think those three components of think, listen, and act flow really well into this next question. What does inclusion mean to you?
Inclusion means to me, and that's a question that I always ask the guests, and now I'm being asked it as well. But it means to think, listen, and act to everybody that you meet, regardless of their disability, regardless of their race, their orientation, their religion, whatever. Just remember to see the person as a human, and don't let any of the other characteristics that describe who it is. Don't let that define the person. Define the person as a human. And that's what inclusion means to me, is just see us all as human people and don't see us for our disability. That's really what inclusion means to me. And the way to achieve that is to think, listen, and act.
You summarize what inclusion means really well. So that was an incredible way to end this episode. Any final thoughts on your time as the subject of the Special Chronicles show and not the interviewer?
I'm laughing there because final thoughts. Well, it's a joy to be a guest on this episode. It's an honor to have you. We've had a few other people take over as hosts as well, but I have to say that you take over as a host, and maybe it's particularly because you have a similar background as I do in journalism and love of storytelling, that able to host a successful episode that, who knows, maybe we on joining our podcast network as Special Chronicles, we might see a new podcast joining our network. We'll have to keep our listeners tuning in to find out, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, but yeah, my final thoughts, it's a joy having you. It's having a joy having you on the. Can we rewind and rephrase that? It's a joy being a guest on this takeover episode. I hope that all of you listeners have enjoyed hearing a little bit more about my origin story, a little bit more about how I received the 2020 Self Advocacy Award, how I became an SSIGM, and some of the stories that I shared with all of you listeners. It's been a joy being. I probably could get. I feel like I could get used to this. Didn't have to do any show prep. Just had to press a few buttons, change a few things on the slide, like this.
And I will say, being a journalist, it is incredibly fun being interviewed.
It is because you. Sometimes I feel like I almost want to just switch it around and ask the person interviewing me questions. I know you can't always do that, but like it is a joy because you know what the journalist, what the host is going through, and you can just kind of sit back and really live in the moment. We talked about that earlier, live in the moment of the joy that storytelling can be, whether it's storytelling on this live stream show, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's on a blog, a video, TV, radio, whatever it is, whatever media it is. Just really enjoying the love of the story, of the fact that we can be a storyteller.
I have to say, I had a blast taking over this episode. Thank you so much for having me on as a host, and for the viewers out there may be a new podcast coming out.
And when there is, we'll have to have you back on as a guest to introduce the new podcast to our listeners, right?
That sounds like a plan.
So stay tuned to that. We've got much more content for you guys coming to you in the coming weeks. As we are backdated in this episode, remember we have new shows on the Special Chronicles show, the Daniel and Georgia show, in all of October. Can we tease what's coming up in October? Yes,
absolutely. You can tease.
So coming up in October, we have the final episodes of our Unified at Work podcast series, which is the partnership between Special Olympics and United Airlines and our joinees to Unified Employment. We'll be talking with staff from Special Olympics, staff from United Airlines, about how our jobs came to be. And so the final episodes of season 1 will be airing live weekly in October 2020 because it's National Disability Employment Awareness Month. It's also we'll be celebrating a 1-year anniversary at the end of October, and so we'll be airing the final episodes. The final episode will be we'll be looking back at 1 year of being at United, but then also we've got another exciting kind of panel and some other exciting guests, including one guest that I'm going to backdate his episode, but I can't tell you who the guest is going to be. I did say his, but that could be just to throw all of you listeners off. But it's a big guest. He or she. This guest was a little bigger of a deal before May 2020, but he's still a big deal because this guest was one of the reasons of how one of the people that made this full-time jobs program with part-time hours possible. And so I can't tell you who the guest is going to be because we're still trying to book him. If it's one person, whatever we tone my phone calls, voicemails, I will be able to actually book him, but officially book him. I don't know who it is. I mean, I know, but you guys don't. Anyway, the point is, tune in October 2020. The final episodes of season 1 of the Unified at Work series will be live. You can go and listen to some audio documentaries and learn more on the show page. Just go to specialchronicles.com and click on the banner for the Unified at Work series.
That was a great way to end the show.
With that, how are we going to end the show? Well, you're taking over as host, so I'll let you end it.
Well, thank you, viewers, for tuning in to another episode of Special Chronicles. I'm your takeover host, RJ Nealon, with our guest Daniel, the actual host of the podcast. Thank you for joining in, and tune in next time.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Until next week, remember, choose to include
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
And that's a wrap on this special birthday encore episode of the Special Chronicles podcast. Thanks for tuning in and celebrating with us. And here's a big reminder. I'm officially speaking at the ALCA of Illinois' 76th annual convention on April 29th to the 30th, 2026. Want exclusive access to watch live or on demand? Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter on specialchronicles.com. If you love today's conversation, share it with someone who needs a little inclusion in their feed. Follow the show on your favorite podcast app and learn more at specialchronicles.com. We'll see you, and make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We'll see you next time. We'll see you in the next episode. And until then, let's make the world a more inclusive place for all. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes absolutely for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Okay, I'm going to end that let me just check to make, 10 minutes. We've got one of our live viewers, Jason. Do you know Jason? He's from your town, right?
Yep.
So athlete leadership.
He said, "Get it together, Daniel."
What was that? He said that at 9:33 a.m. Central Time. That was he. Oh, wait, what time was that? Oh, Oh, I think he was probably commenting at the beginning of the episode when we
had a blooper.
We messed up. That probably makes sense, right? Yeah, he was probably like that's probably why he's commenting.
That was funny. Bloopers are always good to put out there and show people, hey, even the professionals mess up.
Yeah, even the professionals. So there you guys go. I mean, are we professionals? I guess we kind of are.
We're professional journalists.
Yeah. So there you go.
We graduated college.
Yeah. So, Jason, if you listen to this later, thanks for the comment, and thanks for everybody watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And the podcast will be up, well, hopefully this weekend. I can get it up, right?
That's on you.
I know. Hopefully. Well, I have to go cut the bus in like 15, 20 minutes. And anything else you want to tell our viewers?
Thank you so much again. I mean, I can't express how happy and how joyful I am for getting this opportunity to take over one of Daniel's podcasts. You're awesome, and I consider you a great friend of mine and somebody I look up to in the journalism industry. So thank you again for having me on. Thanks.
Yeah, it was an honor to have you take over as a host. It's always good once in a while to like step back and like not be the host for an episode. So, and even sometimes like if you ever want to have another guest on, I can hook you up with this StreamYard and you can interview another guest. Well, I'm just sitting in the background. I'm not even on screen, and I'm not even on the stream. And like, if you ever want to take over an episode with another guest, not me, we can do that sometime if you want.
Let's talk it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, and I'll have to hook you up or tell you a little bit more about StreamYard because want to use that for your podcast?
I've been told by multiple podcasters to use StreamYard.
Oh, you have? Awesome.
I have.
Ever since my video producer, and we're only doing the $20 per month, and that's. Should I be saying this on here? Oh, yeah, whatever. We'll promote the StreamYard, so it's all good. And once you already start saying something, you have to finish. You can't stop because then you tease the audience. Okay. So the 720p is that HD quality is fine. Like we can go live to 3 locations like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We don't need the 1080p to go live to 8 destinations because I don't know why you would want to go live on 8 destinations. We don't really need that. And so, StreamYard is awesome. Anyways, let me go in the broadcast. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Special Chronicles Podcast. Our podcast was produced by Daniel Smrokowski on the Special Chronicles Network. Follow Special Chronicles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe, rate, and review Special Chronicles on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Our website, specialchronicles.com, where you can stream our archives of over 500 episodes for free. Also, there's a list of our favorites, original series, award-winning columns, and blogs. And sign up for our newsletter to receive exclusive bonus content delivered to your inbox. Again, specialchronicles.com. Special Chronicles is hosted by Podbean Podcast Hosting. Our live streams are powered by StreamYard. Thanks, as always, to our business manager, Adam Smrokowski, who always encourages us to never give up. I'm Daniel Smrokowski, back next week with more stories.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.